And
Game face.
I believe we are live. We are live.
Awesome. All right. So, for people that will watch this in the future, uh, my name is Jim. I'm going to be the DM for this game. This is a just improv 2 game that was inspired by a post that Marquise posted earlier today. And so I decided to just post something on and see if I could get some people to play. Luckily, I got 2 of them, snagged them. I have Chad and Josh, and this is literally just a on-the-spot improv game. There's not a whole lot of planning that I did for this, and they created their characters on the spot. I'm going to let them go ahead and tell you a little bit about them, their characters. And I guess we're going to go from my left to right. So, Chad, if you want to introduce yourself and your character.
Hi guys, I'm Chad, 12-year Army vet, and I'm going to be playing a Lightfoot Halfling. His name is Osborne Brush Gatherer, and I went 9 levels in Fighter. No, I chose the champion, or no, Battlemaster.
Good evening. My name is Josh. I'm going to be playing a Mountain Up Rogue Cleric, both the Arcane Trickster as well as a Life Cleric. And you'll probably kind of start seeing some of his past throughout this game. His name is Valgar Riznik. And yeah.
All righty. So we're going to go ahead and jump on into this. So you two have run across each other throughout y'all's travels. For one reason or another, y'all have decided to stick together. Y'all are traveling from one city to another. It's really just that simple. You're just heading along the same path. But ever since y'all woke up this morning, there's been this uneasiness just in the very pits of your souls. There's this uneasy feeling, and you can't really understand why. You brush it off as, the dinner I had last night is just messing with me. Maybe I drank too much. It's just one of those days. But as y'all continue to walk, you notice that what started out as a sunny day has now started to become gloomy. It's become overcast. And the sky is filling with dark clouds that seem to just gather from nowhere. You can smell just the faintest hint of iron on the wind. And just like with that uneasy feeling, you brush it off. And maybe there's a mine somewhere near. Maybe there's a large forge somewhere. And that's what you're getting. But in the back of your minds, you just know that something's not quite right. And it's not too long before you realize that what you've been feeling and what you've just stumbled into is not natural. It's not normal. The sky up above has begun to take on this purplish hue. There's lightning that flashes and arcs across the sky, but there's no thunder. the wind picks up and the smell of iron becomes stronger and stronger. And Josh, your character, he feels something hit his cheek like rain. And as you kind of go to brush it off and look at it, you realize that it's red. And a few more drops hit both of you as there's this slight downpour of this red liquid. It starts to come in waves now, almost like a storm from nowhere, a storm of blood. This is the first time that you've heard lightning crash, but it's not in the distance. It's almost directly in front of you, maybe 40 feet, 50 feet away. There's just boom. As it lights up the surrounding area, you get the scene, you see the scene that is laid before you. Bodies strung out all over this, what shouldn't be, but is a wasteland. You were just on a road from one city to another, walking for only a few hours, and yet it looks like you have entered into an abyss. There's the moans and cries of the dying, and you can make out that these are soldiers. It looks like that some kind of battle happened here, and you have just stumbled into the middle of it. If you could both give me perception checks.
All right. 21.
That's 19 on die plus perception, which is 6, so 25.
All right. Yeah, you both notice it almost immediately that amongst these bodies, there's something else. You hear the crunching of bones and the ripping of flesh. Even through the wind, it's almost like it's carried on the wind, that it's being sent to you by some otherworldly force. You can make out these odd shapes, some crouched over some of the bodies, some are just roaming. They are larger than like a human man. Not quite giant or anything. They're just odd looking. They're fatter. They're not as limber looking. And as another one of these flashes of lightning go off, you, just to your right, realize that there's one 5 feet from you. You can tell that its skin is rotted, and it has these pus-filled balls all over its body and oozes with this black tar like blood. If you would both please roll initiative.
Seven.
16.
And who got the 16?
Osborne.
Okay. So, Osborne, as as you really look closely at this figure, your eyes meet, and that's when you know that you have become targeted by it. Something just, it's almost like the feeling that that prey would get being around a predator. You just know that you're either going to have to run or you're going to have to fight.
I draw my bow and ready an arrow. And I let it loose.
All right. Please give me an attack roll.
17.
That will hit.
All right. Is it too late to expend a superiority dice?
No. If you would like to, you may.
I'm going to attempt to taunt it. So 4 plus 5, 9 damage.
All right. So I want you to describe to me what that looks like as this arrow hits it.
I'm going to say, well, I guess I'm probably far enough. How far away was it?
From you, it was just outside of 5 feet. We'll say it wasn't quite within melee range. It was just outside of it. So about 7 feet.
Oh, I should have just added it with a rapier then. He's going to be like, come at me. And fire the arrow, and the arrow will sink into it. Probably center mass.
Okay. As that happens, it lets out this scream, this howling wail that you for sure know is not of this world.
It's going to be one of those kind of days.
And while you're fixated on your target that you've just sunk this arrow into, Vodgar, you realize that scream has attracted the attention of 3 others that were nearby. And that they have turned to look at you. It is now your turn. What would you like to do?
Oh no, my friend. It looks like we have company. As he takes his rapier and seeing as it's the closest one, he tries to end the screaming before it attracts any more, should there be any more. So he's going to attack the beast that's right in front of him with the rapier.
All right, please give me an attack roll.
13.
That will hit.
Oh, okay. So then, seeing as we're within 5 feet, I can use the sneak attack, correct?
He will just, you would need a comrade to be within 5 feet. He is just outside that 5 feet.
Okay. Wow, max damage. So 8. 12. 8 plus 12. 8 plus 4, so 12.
Tell me how you killed this thing.
Get it.
Noticing as these other creatures start popping up, noticing me as this thing screams, it's kind of that quick draw as it slices the creature's neck in half, blood spewing out of its neck, and dies.
All right. So that one hits the ground and it thuds. But with that thud, there's that squishy sound and it just this black pool of ick just pools around, mixing with the blood that's on the ground. The other 3 have begun to make their way towards you. They're not very fast, though. you can tell that they're having trouble moving. It's like they're having to force their bodies to move, and they jiggle as they do. Like there's no muscle, just lard and goo inside. They will not reach you this turn, but they will be within, just outside of, I should say, just outside of melee combat. So it will be Asburn's turn again.
I would move my complete distance away from them.
Okay.
And let an arrow out at the next closest target.
All right. Go ahead and give me an attack roll.
All right. Nice. That'll be 30.
Yeah, that hits.
All right. One off from critical, but hey, that's all right. I will not expend a superiority dice at this moment. I'll just attack. And that is max. No, not max. 11 damage.
11?
Yes, sir.
All right. So you let that arrow fly, and it just goes straight through the eye socket of this one, and it immediately drops. It's that same kind of it's that same kind of effect where, you know, it hits the ground and it just kind of begins to bleed that black ichor.
Ugh.
Valgar, what would you like to do?
Can I roll like a history check to see if I've seen this in my travels or know anything about it?
Sure.
Would that be investigation or history?
It depends on whichever one you would like to use. Both would reveal different kinds of information.
I'll do history, which would put me at a 16.
16.
Yeah.
You would know through your travels and through encountering different people and swapping stories, reading books, just through kind of, like I said, your travels. You kind of have this feeling that there's possibly some kind of undead. The only difference is it's that uneasy feeling that makes you second guess that. Like maybe there's something more to them than just being undead. They're not quite zombies. You've run across them before, and they're just not the same. It's that thing in the back of your mind telling you that no, this is not it. There's something else to it.
Kind of still feeling this uneasiness. He kind of stares intently, trying to understand this as he sheaths his rapier and pulls out his short bow to shoot the one of the ones that are still standing.
Okay. Just give me an attack roll.
Plus 8, so 8 plus 6, that's 14.
That will hit.
Okay, so that deals 5 plus 4, 9 points of damage.
All right. So you sink it into the forehead of this creature, and its head kind of pops back, and it very slowly raises it back up and just kind of stares at you with the same blank eyes, almost like it didn't feel the pain. But you know that it hit. You know that it should have killed it if it were anything normal. A shot to the head, it's a one-shot kill. And that uneasiness kind of grows with that.
What's going on? That should have dropped it. I don't understand. Have you seen anything like this?
I just killed one of them.
As the one is regaining its composure as far as getting its head back up from this arrow being lodged into its skull, the other one has just entered range and takes a swipe at Asburn. Takes its claw out and reaches for him. It's going to be a 15 to hit.
Not today. And I will use a superiority dice to repost
All right.
for 6. Or do I have to roll an attack with that as well? Let me double check.
Yes, I believe you have to do an attack roll.
Yes, so I'll roll that as well. And that is a 21.
That hits 6 damage.
Correct, sir. What do I do? That's just from the superiority die. I think I do my actual weapon as well, correct?
Yes.
Okay, so let me add one more to that. If it helps.
Just one more damage? Or
Yes, sir.
one more? Oh, okay. Okay. All right. So this thing swipes at you, and you definitely dodge it and counterattack immediately. I want you to explain to me how you counterattacked.
He dropped his bow. Oh, is that too much? To drop and draw a rapier?
I'll say it's good.
Okay, so he was preparing as he came closer to him, and he switched to his rapier and
Right.
slashed it aside, and then in the same swoop came down overhead on him and punctured him probably like in the upper shoulder, hit him up in
Okay. So you slice through its gut and then come back down on it and sink into it. And it's like cutting hard jello. You can feel it move as your blade goes through it, but almost like it's got a mind of its own, that the innards are moving themselves. The skin is moving. Like every part of this creature is alive.
I think that would make him a little nauseated.
All right. Well, why don't you go ahead and give me a Constitution saving throw to see if you might kind of throw up a little bit.
15.
Okay, yeah, you're able to hold it down.
All right. Swallow it.
Yeah. This other one is now within range and is about to the one with the arrow sticking out of its skull is right beside the one you have just cut into. And with your blade stuck in it, you have that instance of fear, like, will I be able to get out of the way in time as this claw comes at you? That's going to be 11, which I believe misses.
Correct.
All right. So yeah, you're able to slide it out and get away before it can hit you. And it will be your turn. Unless there's something you would like to do.
No, I will take the shield off of my back since it's come down to hand to hand. and I will come at the one that's closest to me with my rapier drawn,
Alrighty.
and I will thrust it out in front of me for 14.
That will hit.
All right, and then I will attack it for 12 damage.
All right.
And
And which one were you going for?
The one that was closest. I think you said the one with the arrow was further away still.
Yep. It
So
was
I guess the one that I already slashed into.
Okay, yeah. So, this time you cut through it and your blade goes all the way through this mass and it just kind of slides in half and squishes to the ground. The other one doesn't even take notice. It's like he doesn't even care. And it's just letting out this low moan and gargling sound as that black goo drips from its forehead and just kind of pools on the ground, almost like it's flowing more freely now. Vadgar.
Okay, maybe now I've killed one.
Vadgar, it's your turn.
Kind of seeing kind of the pattern with these creatures, noticing how they don't even react. He kind of is mind boggled at this. I mean, it's reminds him of his teachings of the undead from when he was taught by his stepfather, you can say. But at the same time, it doesn't make sense to him. It just mind boggles him as there's nothing kind of clicks in his mind as he lunges forward, or lunging his rapier into the one that's still standing.
All right. Give me an attack roll, please.
18 plus 8 would be what? 26 to hit.
That will hit.
It fell on the floor. Let me re-roll.
Yeah,
Or
hit the
do you
floor.
want-
Doesn't count.
So that's 5 plus 4, so 9.
9. All righty. How do you kill this one?
I just think because I was running and lunging, it just went straight into, I guess, whatever would be the allocation of the creature's heart. Just as it slides in, all this black goo that you get from the creature just kind of starts to melt around the rapier, just kind of leaving the rapier at that same level, but nothing there. As it had all just oozed onto the floor.
Right. All right. Being this close to it, almost close enough, where if you were to take another step, you would be right up against it. I want you to give me a religion check.
Religion plus 2. So that's going to be a 10.
10. Whatever these things are, they are unholy. That undead thought still keeps coming into your mind, and then you push it aside, that it's not undead, but it is not of this world, and it is not natural. This thing has been changed in some way. Because as you look at it, you look into its face, and you almost see the remnants of what could have at one point been a person. But it has been tormented and tortured and deformed to the point that it has lost all recognition of itself. With that, it kind of slides back off of your rapier and hits the ground with that thud. The 4 that were around you are now dead. The pools of black have begun to mix and make this small, almost swamp-like area around your feet. As you kind of lift your feet up, it sticks to it slightly, like mud. And both of you look around, just out of reflex to make sure there's none of these things else anywhere. You don't see anything, but in the distance you see this glowing green light about 200 feet away from you. What would y'all like to do?
I'd like to pick my bow back up.
Okay.
Can't leave her anywhere.
Noticing this green light, kind of awed at it because of all the things that he's read in his training as a cleric and everything that he's gone through. He doesn't lose sight of that light, but he, I guess, kneels down a little bit, sticks his fingers into the black goo, and kind of like twirls it in his fingers, trying to make sense of any of it, to kind of see if anything feels familiar, smells familiar, as he lifts that and kind of puts it to his nose and smells it.
As you do that, there's this almost instantaneous pain, this sharp pain, just like in your mind. And you've come to realize that these are visions that you have been getting ever since you've been trained as a cleric, ever since you were taken into the clergy, that your God sends their followers in times of need. And you get these flashes, these images of fire and darkness, of the screams of souls. And it clicks what this thing or these things were. These are demons. These are not of this world. This is why you felt so uneasy. Your God was telling you that you were getting closer to real evil. And you know, as this pain in your head and these visions and these flashes fade, that if you go towards the green light, it's going to become more dangerous. But you feel like you need to.
Still staring at the green light as that happens, he lets out this audible ugh, as he kind of falls to one knee, as the pain it becomes very overbearing, even if it's just for a moment. And as he comes back up, he looks over and says, "We have to go that way. I don't know what it is, but we have to go that way."
put my hand on his shoulder. And I'll say, "Are you in your right mind, my friend?"
I'm a dwarf. Are we ever?
Well, taller folk are usually crazier than we are.
This is true.
If you say we must head this way, then we will go. I have followed you this far. I will continue to go with you now.
So standing back up as he kind of helps me back up, you just see me trudging through all this black sludge and blood, wondering what happened here, but realizing that there's a greatest purpose ahead of him, that he can't worry about what's in front of him. Now he has to keep moving and starts walking towards the light.
All right. You only get a couple of steps out before you hear this screech. It's almost like a bird, but it's that same feeling that comes over you. This is not right. That's not a bird. And you hear the flapping of giant wings.
Can I see where it's coming from?
You look around, but because of the clouds and the darkness, it's very hard to see up high. But you can tell that they're coming closer to you, that these wings and whatever they carry is coming directly for both of you.
Prepare yourself, my friend. We're in for it again.
Must they always interfere with my work?
One would argue they are your work.
Pardon?
One would argue that they are your work.
Perhaps. But right now is not the time to figure that out. Prepare yourself. As he pulls out his rapier and shield, as he prepares, still trudging towards the light, but preparing should anything come towards him.
All right. I'd like both of you to make a Constitution saving throw, please, as another one of these screeches echoes in your ears.
26.
13.
All right. Asburn, you pass that save. Valgar, you do not. As that screech echoes in your ears and in your head, you become unable to move. You are fully aware of what is happening, but you cannot bring your body to follow the commands of your mind. You tell your arm to raise your sword, get ready, and it will not. Asburn, you would see him almost become paralyzed, just stuck in place. And these wings, the flapping is getting closer.
I press my back to his and say, "What are you doing, you fool?"
Am I able to still speak, or does my mouth not move either?
Your mouth will not move. You think the thoughts to tell him, but you can't manage to get words out. There's this low groan from your throat, like you're trying to say something, but nothing will come out.
Not this again. And I'll try to, like, I'm drawn with my arrow watching the skies, but I'm trying to, like, push him with my shoulders and kind of make him move along.
All right.
Get going.
As you're trying to push him, and he's just not budging, the flapping suddenly stops, and there's a crash about 10 feet away from you. And there's dust that kicks up.
I'll shoot for the center of it.
All right. Give me an attack roll, please.
30.
Yeah, that hits.
And I get 10 damage. And then I have a extra attack that I forgot
Okay.
before for being a fighter. So I'm going to do that as well.
Okay.
Natural 20.
All right.
Do you want me to roll 2d8s or roll in double? Or
Roll and double it, please.
all right. So that's 15 altogether.
So yeah, and that was with the arrows, correct?
Correct. 2 shots from the longbow.
Okay, yeah. So you very quickly release 2 arrows, and they fly into this debris and smoke that was caused by whatever just hit the ground. And there's that screech again, but this time you can tell that it's some kind of pain.
Haha.
And as this debris and smoke clears, you get sight of this horribly vile-looking creature. It looks almost like some kind of bird, but the beak is malformed and has rows of sharp teeth. It's covered in this green and gray fur, not feathers. And it has long claws and talons. And it stands on 2 legs.
Oh, jeez.
It is standing there with these 2 arrows sunk into its chest. And it looks down and just swats them off and breaks the arrows with the head still buried inside of it. It begins to shake its fur. And as it does, there's this silver, almost mist that starts to come from it. I need both of you to make a Constitution saving throw, please.
Oh God. You go.
22.
Nat
right.
1.
Oh my god.
I mean, I am frozen stiff,
This is-
technically.
This is true.
Oh God.
Yeah, so I mean, it makes sense that you kind of failed that one.
I mean, if I add my Constitution modifier to 3, but still nat 1 on dice, and we
Yeah.
lost Chad.
Oh no. Chad, what happened?
I really feel like making a cat bug reference, but I won't.
What?
Have you never heard of cat bug?
No, I've never heard of cat bug.
Okay, when you get a second, just go on YouTube, Google, or YouTube, cat bug Chad, and you will or drama bug. Okay, drama bug Chad, and you will not look at him the same way ever.
Okay.
Just saying. I sent him another invite to the thing in case. Whatever.
Right. Yeah, hopefully he'll get back soon. So as
Well, I got on that one, so you can just tell me how horrible I get messed up.
oh, there he is.
Hey, look at that, Chad.
Sorry about that.
Yeah, welcome back.
Thank you.
Yeah, so Asburn, you're just hardier than the average halfling or dwarf. So, this thing's effects seem to not have any effect on you.
At the moment.
Valgar, you on the other hand, while being paralyzed by the screech and not being able to defend yourself at all, this mist, these spores that have come off of it, that have drifted towards y'all, you feel it enter your nose, enter your eyes. It even feels like it's entering your ears. Every orifice of your body, your pores, everything begins to burn, almost like acid is touching it. You're going to take 3 points of poison damage. And with that, if you will give me a Constitution check, please.
Me?
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, Valgar, if you would.
Oh, both of us, or?
No, just Valgar.
Okay, all right.
13.
God damn it. So yeah, even with this burning, you just can't bring yourself to move, to try and get these spores and this mist from around you. And this thing has stopped shaking. And as the spores die down, you still feel that burning though. I'm going to say, Asburn, if you will please roll initiative. Valgar, you will not.
11.
All right. So this thing almost instantly after it stops shaking lunges at you, quickly covering the 10, 15 feet that were between you, and tries to swipe at you with a talon. That's going to be a 9 to hit, which I believe misses.
Correct.
All right, so it swipes at you and completely misses. But in one quick motion, the neck extends and the beak opens and tries to grasp you. And that will be a 21 to hit.
Absolutely.
So that's going to be 6 points of piercing damage.
Rah!
And with that, Asburn, it is your turn.
Again, with this melee, and he'll draw his rapier after dropping his bow, and then unstrapping his shield, and stab at its head behind its beak. 19.
That will hit.
All right.
Some
For
of
7
those
damage.
This way.
And then I will attack it again with my extra attack
Okay.
for 21. And I will attempt to trip it.
Okay.
So I have a superiority dice damage for 11 damage.
Alrighty.
Oh, actually, I take that back. Plus 5, so 16 damage. Double check trip. You take a strength saving throw. Or be
He got an 18.
I think it's just if you just a strength saving throw. So you pass it, I assume.
I don't know what's your the DC for it.
When you hit a creature with a weapon, you add a spirit dice to deck damage, and if the target is larger or smaller, it must make a strength saving throw. On a con save,
Yeah,
and
it's
based off it just your stat.
It's going to be against your maneuver DC, which is like 8 plus your proficiency plus I think either Dex or Strength, depending on whichever one you want to go with.
Case. So 5, and my proficiency is 4, so 9 plus 8 is 17.
He just passes it.
Okay.
So you try and trip him up, and one of those claws comes to the ground and just catches him as he is about to hit.
All right.
Rodgar, please give me another Constitution check.
Let's hope this one's a little bit better. Mother.
Humble isn't a 1.
No, it was just another 13.
Yeah, so
Keep rolling an 11 on dice, and I get a +2 to Constitution. So
all right, this time you're going to be taking 5 points of poison damage.
I'm actually, I have, okay. For poison damage, I actually have advantage on saving throws with.
Oh, okay, so yeah, go ahead and.
All right, let me use a different dice. What the hell? Even worse. Okay, never mind.
Alrighty, so
But
yeah,
I do have resistance against poison.
You have resistance?
Yeah, so it would be
so
half damage?
Yeah, so you're going to take 2 points of damage from that.
Okay. I reluctantly take 2 points of damage from that.
And then please give me one more Constitution check. This is not for poison damage, so this is just a Constitution check.
Okay, thank God. That's a 19.
Okay. With that last little bit of burning, you find yourself able to move. That was just the pain you needed to snap yourself out of it. You are now able to move. Go ahead and roll me an initiative roll to see where you fall in.
17.
17. Alrighty. So you are going to be able to take your turn now.
Oh. Now, am I facing everything that was going on, or because I know he said he could put his back to me?
Yeah,
so
this is like directly to the side of you.
So kind of coming to, I'm just overwhelmed at everything that just happened. Kind of glancing over at this thing. How far would you say the beast is from?
Within 5 feet of you.
Okay. I'm gonna, as I noticed it out of the corner of my eye, seeing as I already had my rapier in hand when I was frozen or paralyzed or however you want to put it, you just see him turn very quickly and slice at it. So let's 19 to hit.
That will hit. And because your ally is within 5 feet, you're going to roll that extra 3d6 as well for the sneak attack.
Whoops. Why the hell did I roll my d20 instead of my d8? Whatever. All right. So that's 5, 10, 16, 17 points of damage.
17.
Yes.
All right.
2 5s, a 6, and a 1.
Right on. All right. So you slice into this thing, and you know you cut it. You felt it slice. But you can tell that this is unlike those blobs that you were fighting before. That this thing is a little bit tougher. And where those masses of goo didn't seem to have any reaction to being hurt, this thing does. It shrieks out in pain. Asburn, it is now your turn.
I will try to sidestep it,
Okay.
staying within melee range, but trying to get a more advantageous position on it. But then
Okay.
goad it
Okay.
and use a goading attack. So 18.
That will hit.
And that is 17 points of damage. And then the goading attack is a wisdom saving throw against my 17.
He will fail that.
So then he has disadvantage if he attacks anyone other than me.
Okay.
And then I'll attack it for a normal attack.
All right.
Nice. 26
That will hit.
for 7 more damage.
All right.
You bloody beast. Why don't you just die?
Oh,
So as y'all have been slicing at this thing over and over and over again, and you can tell that you're slowly wearing it down, and it rears up, and this is when you really take in the sight of how massive this thing is, especially compared to both of your size. This is taller than the average man. This is 8, 9 feet tall. And it stretches its wings out, and with just a quick couple of flaps, begins to start to hover. I want both of you to give me either athletics or strength checks. I'm sorry, athletics or acrobatics checks.
all right. 21.
Nat 20.
Nice. All right. You both kind of see what's about to happen. Like a bird of prey, it's about to try and grab you with talons and take you up into the sky. You both slide out of the way. Valdgar, you're a little bit quicker, and you're able to see an opening. I'm going to give you an opportunity attack.
Okay. Uh, 15 to hit.
That is just enough to hit.
Now, seeing as it's an opportunity, do I take the additional 3d6?
Yeah, we'll say you do. Especially, I mean, because your comrade is right there as well.
3, 9, 10, 14 points of damage.
Nice. So this thing starts to go by you and tries to swipe at both of you with the talons and pick you up. You slide out the way, and you slice right through one of its wings. It hits the ground, sliding through the blood and the ook. Its wing falls to the ground next to you, still flapping, even though it's not connected to the body anymore. Almost like a snake with its head cut off, it still moves. But it is severely injured. And is making these small squeaking sounds and is making these high-pitched wails as it's clawing at the mud, trying to regain its composure. It is going to be your turn, Dodgar.
Walking up to this beast, he starts mumbling like a little prayer underneath his breath, kind of probably petting it just, softly, as he takes his rapier and just jams it directly into the beast's heart, to put it to sleep, quickly, so that way it doesn't have to suffer. And that'll be another 15 to hit.
All right. So yeah, you do. There's no need to roll damage. You have skewered this thing into the ground. You feel resistance at first as you push it in, but then it just easily slides right through. And there's that last wail that escapes its beak. And it kind of just falls limp. The only thing that you notice that is still moving is that wing that was severed. It's still kind of twitching over to the side. But that doesn't last long. It soon falls motionless as well.
Would you, go ahead.
I'm sorry?
No, go ahead.
Would you please give me another Constitution check? And this is for poison.
That's 9, which I rolled once, which I think is going to be too low, so I'll take my advantage. And that puts it at even lower. All right, so 9.
God. You just can't pass that. Oh, God. So you're going to take 10 points of poison damage right there.
Half that. So I'll take 5.
Half that's a 5. Yep. Okay. Awesome. All right.
I can't win these damn points.
It does suck. All righty. All right. With that, you know that there are all kinds of creatures out there. You've now seen 2 different kinds. And it's starting to, for you, Dodgar, become more evident that something is allowing these creatures into this plane. And you're pretty sure it's that green light. That if it's left open, these things will run amok. You take in the sight of the soldiers that are skewered and disassembled, massacred around the battlefield. And that what looks like an entire army couldn't stop these things. There's something worse out there. And possibly worse coming through. you know you need to end this quickly. You need to find a way to close whatever door has been opened.
As it dies and I kind of come to that conclusion, you hear this audible sound of like a really heavy sigh come from him. Having known from his teacher at the clergy that at some point a mission was going to be bestowed upon me, that no matter what I did, I was going to have to face. And having that inner calling that this is that mission, he just looks over to his friend and says, "We must do this quickly. We must hurry. But the challenges ahead are only going to get worse." As he starts to run towards the light.
Well, let me gather my things. I'll get my bow and try to catch up with him.
Yeah, I wasn't gonna stop to wait, and Voldgar would just be running, not really paying any mind to whether or not he follows or not.
All right. So, Bodgar in the lead, running, and Asburn not too far behind him. I would like both of you to give me dexterity checks.
Does it happen to be anything in particular?
If you'd like to add acrobatics to it, you can.
Oh, absolutely. 18 from me.
I realized my mic was on after I had said what I said. That was a 12.
Just not your day, is it?
I have no idea. Like, I rolled a nat 20 on it, and as soon as I rolled a nat 20, it just went, nope, no more for the night. Bye.
That was your one good roll.
Yep. It's like I'm clocking out. Time for bed.
Asburn, you're very agilely and very skillfully weaving through the carnage, through the broken and twisted pieces of metal and bodies and spears. You're barely even sliding in the blood and mud. Vodgar, you on the other hand, are continuously tripping, almost like in a frantic way. You know you need to get there, and so you're not caring how you do. You're just crawling over everything that you can, bodies, armor. You're going to take, as you run by a sword that just nicks you, that's sticking out of the ground. But it doesn't seem to faze you. And with that, you hear a roar that is unlike the other noises you've heard. Even adventures. In both of your travels, you've never heard anything quite like this. Or that seems to echo within your very bones. It vibrates the very earth itself. And you can almost instantly tell where it's coming from. You look to the right, and in the distance, you see a large, massive figure. You can see horns that twist up. And you can see as the lightning flashes in the sky, the red fur that covers it. And it begins to charge at you. If you'd please give me another initiative roll.
12 again.
15 for me.
All right.
I don't know what's up with these damn 12s. I get 12s and 13s, nothing else.
All right. So, Vodgar, this thing is coming directly for you. Head turned down, horns trained right on you. It's going to be a 31 to hit.
Oh, that hits.
Let's see.
That armor class is like not even possible to get.
Maybe with a wish spell.
Oh God, you hear all the dice he's rolling.
Yeah.
It's not as bad as it would seem. So it's going to be, if you're going to take 9 points of piercing damage as this thing rams into you with its horns. And you are going to...
Go ahead. Well,
Huh?
I have the uncanny dodge ability, which when
Okay.
when it's the damage that I take.
Okay. So you're going to take 4 points of damage.
Okay.
And you just barely get out of the way in time. But it shifts its head as you do, and it puts you 15 feet away. Please give me a strength save.
You cut out there for a second. What'd you say?
Can you please give me a strength saving throw?
Oh, I'm good at those. That'll be 15.
15. All right. So you are still
That means it's
pushed.
not 13.
You're still pushed 15 feet away, but you are not knocked prone. You're able to maintain your balance.
Sliding across the ground of blood and muck, you kind of see him as he slides across the battlefield, coming to a stop as he bumps into the dead body of a general.
And as you do, you look down and you realize he's not dead. He's almost there. He's on the precipice of death, but he is not there. But before I come back to you, Asburn, it is your turn. This beast is 10 feet away from you.
I would like to move. I want to get away from it, put some distance between it and I.
Okay.
And I would like to shoot it with the longbow.
Okay.
And I would also like, well, let me try and hit first.
Oh, nice.
And then I'm going to add superiority dice to it to
Okay.
attempt to goad it. And
Okay.
would that be doubled as well?
He has to make a saving throw, correct?
Right, but
go.
Yeah.
So what I'll do is I'll roll at disadvantage for it.
Okay. So just double my actual weapon damage then.
Yes. Yeah, roll for damage and then double it.
And then that's a wisdom of 17.
He will fail it.
Leave him
and
alone.
How much damage did you do?
Oh, jeez. I think it was. Man, I had an 8 and a 7 plus 5, so 14 plus 5 is 19 plus 8, 27.
27. All right.
Yeah. And then that was my first attack.
Uh-huh.
So my extra attack against it for 27.
That will hit.
That's max damage of 13.
All right.
And then I'm going to use my action surge
Nice.
to
Okay.
attack it again. And that is 17.
That one will miss.
Okay.
Don't you still have one more attack? Because of the action surge, you get the whole action again.
Oh, sure. I'll take that. And that's 20 modified.
That will hit.
And 11.
All right. All righty. So, Vodgar, you have just realized that the general you've bumped into, you can see the life still in his eyes. You can hear the faint groan that escapes his lips. And you can just see the ever slightest twitching of his body. But you also, out of the corner of your eye, see your companion, your comrade, Asburn, goading this beast away from you and trying to take it on himself. What would you like to do?
Would I realize how close to death this general is?
Give me a medicine check.
No, I don't know what D20 to use for this. All right, you know what? I'm gonna put my new side here. Medicine. That's +2. So 16.
16. You know that he's pretty far gone, that it would be a miracle if you were to able to save him. That he is minutes, if not moments, from death, from bleeding out, just from his wounds.
As I had bumped into him, I think it would have been one of those things where it was kind of where as he bumped into him, he was about to get up to go back into the fight, realizing that someone was still alive. The faint breathing and the as I slid into him, he kind of turns and sees this man pretty much dying in front of him, feeling this inner fight, this inner war in him over his training as a clergyman, and his friend fighting this beast alone, realizing he only has half a second to make a decision. He's going to follow his basic training as a clergyman and use a healing word to try to heal, or pretty much to heal the general.
Okay.
He'll gain 1d4 plus 6. So he'll regain 8 hit points. Which you see me kind of on a rush job, probably ripping part of his clothes off to put pressure and kind of compact whatever wounds he had that were visible. As soon as he does that and he realizes that he's kind of in better shape than what he was, you'd see me as I stand up and start running back towards this creature. How far is the beast from me, seeing as I was pushed 15 feet?
It would be about 15 feet away from you still. Yeah.
So I'm gonna do this just because I've always wanted to. I'm going to cast Fireball at it.
All right.
So let me just get the specs.
Copious amount of dice.
Yeah. 20-foot radius. He has to make a dexterity saving throw. But how would I calculate the...
It's against your save DC.
Oh, which would be 14.
He will fail that by 1.
Takes 8d6 of damage. All right. Let me gather up a couple d6s here. I'm just going to have to roll these twice because I only have 4 at hand. So that'll be 11 plus... So remember 11 because I'm about to lose whatever 11.
Okay.
Gotcha.
That's 18, so 29 points of fire damage.
Nice.
So you light this thing up. And the glow of the fire shows you just how menacing this thing is. And just, it's almost like that realization of it seems to be at home in the fire. That obviously he doesn't like it, and it's almost like an annoyance to him, but it doesn't really seem to hurt him. Would you please, Valgar, give me a Constitution check for poison?
Sure, once I figure out where the hell my D20 went. Screw it, I'll just use a different one. Well, I do get advantage, but that was a 19 on the first one. Do I?
Okay. If you would like to roll again, but that will pass.
Whatever. Oh yeah, let's go with the first one. Let's
Okay.
just go with the first one.
So you realize that burning sensation that's been over your skin has dissipated. You are no longer poisoned. The beast lets out a roar and takes a large step towards Asburn, and raises a fist up and tries to bring it down on him. It's going to be a 26 to hit.
Absolutely.
And that's going to be... That's going to be 21 points of bludgeoning damage.
Excellent.
And that will be his turn. Asburn, it is now your turn. What would you like to do?
I like to spit in its face.
Okay.
And
Roll
and I will throw my bow over me and grab my rapier and have at it, trying to get at its underbelly as best as I can.
Okay.
It's 15.
That will miss.
All right. I'll have it with my extra attack.
Okay.
And that is 21.
That will hit.
All right. And 7 points of damage.
All right. Is there anything else that you would like to do?
If I could bonus action and pull my shield out, I would do that.
Okay.
So I'll do that.
No problem. Vodgar, it is now your turn. What would you like to do?
Kind of in the heat of battle, realizing this thing is not going down no matter what he kind of does. He kind of feels a little discouraged, and then that angers him, and he runs sword in hand after making sure that the general was all right, running sword in hand straight for this 9-foot beast, jumping and trying to do the same thing he's done to everything else and stab it directly into the heart.
All right. Give me an attack roll, please.
19 to hit.
That is just a hit.
Oh, God. 19. Oh, God. Okay. That's 6 plus 4, so 10 points of damage.
And your comrade is right there, so you will get that sneak attack damage as well.
Oh, that's beautiful. So 9 and 6, so 15 total. Oh, wait, 19 total.
All right. Is there anything else you would like to try and do on your turn?
I'm gonna use my cunning action to dash away.
You're going to dash away, which is double your movement. If you do that, you will provoke an opportunity attack.
Oh,
If you use disengage and run away, yeah, you won't provoke one.
yeah, then disengage, and probably move like 15 feet away.
Okay. You do so. And this thing, you stab at it, and you duck and bob and weave as it kind of tries to claw at you, and you're just too quick for him, and he gets away, or you get away from him before he can have a chance to actually hit you. But as it's paying attention to you, as it's trying to hit you, its head swivels over and looks directly at Asburn, and one of its hoofs comes up and kicks out. That is a modified 20 to hit.
Yeah.
And that is going to be... will you go ahead and roll me a strength saving throw?
Sure. 23.
That will pass. You're going to take 11 points of bludgeoning damage. But you catch yourself, and you are not knocked prone.
I've seen this before.
With that, Asburn, how would you like to react to that? It is now your turn.
I'm gonna kind of be crouched down and try to like jump and stab up with it, probably underneath its chin with
Okay.
my main hand. And that is 28.
That will hit.
And that will be for 8 points of damage. Then I'm gonna
Okay.
extra attack straight for this, try and hit the same exact spot. Like maybe I can start something going in it.
Okay.
And that is 20 modified 20.
Yep, that'll hit.
And that's for 12 points of damage.
All right. So what does that look like as you kill this thing?
Oh, the first time I'm gonna press in through underneath its chin and draw some blood. And then it probably created an opening that I wanted at. And so I went for it again, trying to pierce through and underneath its skull.
All right. Yeah, so you feel it. You feel your blade go through bone, through muscle. And you feel that satisfying thud, as you just sink it all the way into it, and you just fall down with it, boom, as it hits the ground, and there's this tremor that kind of goes out as it does. With that, this thing lets out just this death rattle and this gargling sound as it just falls completely limp. Within moments, you kind of feel the wind pick up and start to be pulled. And as you look up, both of you kind of realizing what is happening, that this wind is being seemingly sucked towards something. You realize that it's that light, and that it has grown a little bit brighter and a little bit bigger. What would y'all like to do?
As the thing falls to the floor, the memory that the general that he saved was still there. Not even saying anything to Ashburn, you just see as I run towards him, kind of sliding towards him. Are you okay? What happened? What's going on?
His eyes were closed when you got to him, but they slowly open, just slits. And you can just barely make out what he says. as he kind of reaches up with a bloody hand. Stop him. Just stop him. And his hand falls limp. And you can tell that despite your efforts, he is gone. Almost like he was holding out till that last moment to tell you something, to stop him.
Grabbing him by his shoulders, shaking him. Who's him? Who is it that we're supposed to stop? Why have I been called here? Just shaking him, asking all these questions. His head just constantly going back and forth with no real response. I kind of think that Ashburn would have come behind me, putting his hand on my shoulder, just be like, he's gone, as my hands let go and his body falls to the floor. You just see my face drop with this utter despair from seeing someone die, a human being die right before his eyes. He's done a lot of stupid things in his life, but he's never had that happen before. He's never watched as someone died. He's never had that sensation of someone's last words be uttered to him.
You did all you could for him.
You just see him on his knees, still holding him, but as he's on the ground with no real response to you. It takes him a little bit, and he comes back. His face going from despair to anger to kind of like a giggliness, almost to the point of laughter. But then he catches himself, and then he goes back to anger, grabbing his hand, pushing it off, standing up, not saying a word, and just walking with the uttermost mission he's ever felt. Because at that point, it hits him to finish it. Because he can't watch another human being die in front of him.
Wait, does this mean we're not having supper? Oh, I'll catch up to you again.
So y'all walk through these bodies as the wind is being pulled past you, pushing you towards this light, pulling you. And it seems like, at least for you, Vadgar, that this is the briefest moment in time. That even though you are walking over 100 feet, that this is just the blink of an eye. Now, if you, Asburn, you're probably a little bit more aware in the distance. Demonic figures. You yourself, Asburn, can hear more screaming, almost like your ears have now attuned to the battlefield. And all the screaming is in the distance, still raging. Radgar, you come to a stop as this green light, this doorway, is before you. You are about 30 feet away from it. Asburn, your eyes fixated on it as well. But even more so than just this green doorway, this light, this negative energy that's coming from it, you notice the man standing in front of it. His silhouette blackened by this light as he is staring deeply into this void. And he's saying something. And even though he's not saying it to you, to either of you, you can hear it very clearly. And so the end begins now. And with that, we are going to end the game.
All right.
Seriously?
Yep, seriously.
That sucks.
Clipping.
I just want to stab him now. Just straight through the heart. Just fuck it. It's worked for me all this time. Fuck it. Just right in the heart.
Yeah, had to leave a little bit of like a,
Suspense.
Open ending there.
Nice.
Will our heroes come out on top? Will they close the doorway? Who is this man, and why did he do this?
Nice.
Yeah, that was awesome.
But yeah, so so that was just like I said at the beginning, that was just all kind of improv. I had a basic idea y'all are gonna fight demons. That was about it.
Nice. Very nice.
I put a whole list of different combinations of spells to use at some point, and just kept getting so angry. Just stab him in the damn heart. It worked the last time, and then it would work, and then screw it, stab him in the heart. It worked the last time. Just kept repeating the cycle. I'm just happy I had to use Fireball.
You took Rogue first, right? So kind of
Yeah.
fitting that was like what was paying off.
I mean, that's
Out of
when I
curiosity,
was
how
doing
much-
most damage?
Right, yeah. What life were y'all at?
79.
76.
Oh, what the fuck? I should have died. Went through two more of those big guys at y'all, and
Yeah,
Damn.
no, I told you. Well, for one, you didn't even really come after me. I figured once I was frozen solid for like 10 rounds, you would have come after me at some point. But we had Chad here keeping you a little occupied.
yeah, he's like, you're gonna fight me. You're not gonna fight him. You're gonna fight me.
Yep. I mean, you can fight him. It's just at a disadvantage. So
Right. Yeah, but you're goading him on.
yeah, like those little maneuvers.
Yeah, man. I had, let me see. I have almost 20 spells that I could have used at some
Wow.
point.
Wow.
I had Spirit Guardians, lightning bolts, I had magic missile, which I was gonna use on the guy at the doorway.
Nice.
I was pass without a trace. I was probably gonna do at some point if we got over.
I already have
Over
+9.
Yeah, +9 to stealth and just sneak our way through the whole battlefield.
Hey, yeah.
I was
I mean,
hoping
if
the
we had
bird was gonna fly, and then I could shoot it and trip it and have it fall.
right.
But it didn't.
Well, see, I
yeah, but
wanted
then
to,
he cut the wing off.
yeah,
Yeah.
I was just gonna pick up the wing and use it as like a cape as it flies, and get some leather or some of my smithing tools, smith it around, some straps or whatever, and just use the fact that it was still flapping to gain light speed.
Nice.
That would definitely have been interesting.
Just gain a
Yeah, no, I mean,
Resistance.
if we had a little bit more time, like, because we got started a little bit late, and I mean, and I got to get up in like 3 hours. So,
No wonder.
Yeah.
yeah. So otherwise, I mean, we probably could have gone on a little bit more. At least had found out about this dude at the doorway, but if
Just, like,
nothing
jumped
else,
in it.
do what?
Then we just like jumped in it, like nothing planned. Just
Yeah, yeah. It was like I said, I didn't even have a plan for him. I just threw him in when he's like, I bumped into a general. Hey, he's still alive. He's got a message.
Yeah.
But
Yeah. Well, maybe one of these days we'll continue the story and see where it takes you. A one shot turn into a mini campaign or a campaign in general. Who
yeah,
knows?
could always happen.
To the one person
yeah.
that's here, I have no idea who you are, but thanks for coming and going. It's awesome to have someone watch. But this has been the questionable beginning. A inspirational D&D campaign that it turns out to be probably ending up as a campaign. And my headphones are dying, so I'll try to wrap this up. Based on Marquise's post about random on-the-spot games. So hopefully we'll have some more like this if everybody else wants to have a little bit of an outro. I'm Josh. You are currently on the RPG Enlightenment YouTube channel. Hopefully we'll have some more stuff up shortly. But until next time, may you only seek enlightenment.
And I'm Jim. Obviously, I was the DM for this game. I just met Josh right before this game, and we started talking, and we have decided to join forces and run RPG Enlightenment together. So hopefully, we can put our heads together and come out with some great videos and some great games for everybody.
Chad?
I like playing and hopefully running D&D. I want to run some like novice games for some people. They're supposed to be like blank character sheets. All you need is blank character sheet. You can use the playtest rules or a PHB or whatever you want. If you have it, it's not necessary. You don't have to know anything about D&D if you don't need to. We'll go over it and discover the characters as we play. And just a good way for some people who have never played online, never played with me, never played D&D, whatever have you, to try to learn the system and get more people playing.
All right, guys. Well, to those watching now and later, may you have a good night. And may you only seek enlightenment.
All right.
All right. Are we still alive?